just dropped my rubbish off, which isn't a very interesting event, so I didn't record them. We have bins just on the end of our access to the farm, and we just bring our rubbish up here to the bins. We only recycle the plastic containers, everything else goes in the same bin, and then it gets recycled once it gets to the plant. If you live in town, everything gets separated, so they have bins for everything: organic material, plastic, paper, etc, etc. But out here we just have one bin, and they separate it when it gets to the plant. So, homecoming, as I say, a little bit tinged with sadness because of the dog, but he had a good life. And here we are back. I've had a very busy week starting this week, trying to catch up with everything. Of course, everything mounts up while you're not here, so I've had appointments and different things. A few mistakes have been made in my diary, double booking things and bits and pieces, but anyway, we seem to be on top of it now. It's Friday, as you can see, sunny day. It is 9:40. It is only 13 degrees, which is pretty remarkable. It's been 28 most days this week while I've been back, so nice and warm during the day. And in the next half an hour you'll see a dramatic change as the sun gets up. It'll go from 13 to probably around 20, and then slowly climb up to 28 during the course of the morning. So by 1 o'clock it'll probably be around 28. Sweden, fabulous time. Obviously Mr. Buck and Billy Ray, Lord Buckington, was great fun. We got on very well, as I thought we would. Similar, like-minded sort of people. I think mainly we both wanted to get on with each other, and we both wanted to enjoy the trip. So, you know, we were 80% of the way there before we started, and then it was pretty easy to accommodate each other, even though we didn't know each other as such. But yeah, it was a great trip. Really enjoyed it. A lot of people have been on Buckington's channel and also been on my channel and said, "Oh, thanks very much, Tim, for such a great trip," and everything else. But you know, believe you me, I got more from it than I expected. You know, I received more than I gave. It was a great trip. It was great to have Bucking along. You know, it wouldn't have been the same if I'd gone on my own just to do the course. There was a guy there on the axe forging course who was on his own, and you know, fortunately, and you know, Buckington's nature is to be very inclusive and to grab hold of people, and you know, even metaphorically put his arm around people, and so he kind of took him under his wing, and you know, he had a great time. But I could see how you could go there on your own and be a bit sort of solitary, and you wouldn't have had the same experience as you have going there with a friend and enjoying the whole thing. So, you know, and Buckington's nature is very infectious, so everywhere you go, people have a smile on their face because he puts a smile on people's faces, and we had a bit of a laugh together along the way, you know, so similar sorts of sense of humour, really. So yeah, a very enjoyable week. I know the trip there for Bucking was long, and I used to work in Calgary a few years ago now, and I used to hate it. I used to love being there, but I used to hate going there, because that 9 hours is such a bad change, you know, that difference. Everything's wrong for you, you know, breakfast time is bedtime, and it's just all wrong. So it does take a few days, and that's why we built in that start in Stockholm, where we could be there a couple of days, just float around. And to be honest, Bucking didn't really settle in until we got to Gransfors, and then he started sleeping properly and everything else. But it takes a while. It does take a while. And I think it's easier going back home than it is the change. You know, I used to find it easier once I'd been to Calgary. If I was coming back to Spain, I found it easier to come back to Spain. looking at this camera, it seems to be bouncing around a lot on that arm. Doesn't seem ideal. I mean, it wasn't cheap, this thing. I mean, it seems to be bouncing around. You've got image stabilization on the camera, so we'll see how this comes out. But yeah, I'm sorry if it's bouncing about. I thought it would be. Oh, mind you, on the phone it looks fairly stable. Maybe it's taking the bouncing out on the image stabilization. Could be. So let me know anyway. Let me know how bad it is. Obviously, I'll see how bad it is when I edit it. We're just coming into Comin now. We live about 10 kilometres outside Comin, which is the local village. Pretty much everything here. I'm driving over to Alarin de la Torre, which takes about half an hour. I mean, you could do it quicker, but I don't feel like it. I'm at peace, as they say, as Bucket says. So I've got to meet a Spanish guy at 10:15. I've got an appointment with him, so I've got plenty of time. Yeah, Sweden, lovely country, very nice people, interesting architecture everywhere we went. Stockholm was generally interesting, and great to go on the river taxis and go around the canals and get access to everything that way, very easy. I mean, much nicer than using any form of public transport or anything like that. You're out in the open, fresh air. But that was really lovely. The other places we went, I don't know whether by coincidence, I mean, even Stockholm, where we were staying, was a renovated docklands area. Norrköping was very much industrial around the river, as was shown on the videos. So, you know, we saw a lot of architecture in the cities. The countryside's just amazing. So much woodland, so much water everywhere. I don't know what you call them. I mean, obviously they're lakes, but in Norway they'd be fjords coming in from the sea. I guess there's an element of that. There's lakes, and the lakes are all bordered by the forest, so it's pretty spectacular. And so just driving around, even when you're on the motorway, you know, the scenery's pretty amazing. Bucking didn't see much of it because he seemed every time we got on the motorway he just fell asleep, although he protests that fact, but he slept a lot on the motorway, which is fine because it stopped his lips flapping, so I didn't have to listen to it. And yeah, getting around was easy. Motorways are really nice. People were great. You stopped and asked for directions. People went out of their way to help you. They'd look it up on their iPhone or their phone or whatever, just to check for you if you had a question. So yeah, really nice. Criticisms, as I've already mentioned, is the orange juice. I don't know what that stuff is, but it hasn't got a lot of orange in it. Obviously we are in a different environment here where we go out the door and get fresh oranges and squeeze it and make orange juice, which will only last a day. I mean, it goes off in a day, so you know, it's not transportable like that. So I guess we're really lucky, just in the same way as if you like Guinness, the Guinness wherever you live in the world is not the same as the Guinness you get in Ireland. And the reason for that is that the Guinness you get in Ireland cannot be transported, it goes off. So they put extra stuff in the Guinness that gets exported. So as nice as it is, it's not the same as the Guinness in Ireland. And I guess that's the scenario. I mean, if you live in Florida, you get good orange juice. But, you know, fresh orange juice, freshly squeezed orange juice from oranges does not last more than a day. So that stuff they're serving up, if it's more than a day old, it's not orange juice. So that was a criticism. I know it sounds stupid. You've got to moan about something, haven't you? Everything else was great. What was unusual for me, and I commented to Buck and Billy, was a racer with no boots on. Tear his foot off. What was unusual was having all the doors and windows closed, because we very, very rarely close the doors and windows in the house because it's so warm. So you're used to having the air circulation all the time, and you know, as I mentioned, now even now in the bedroom we've got the windows open when we go to bed at night. Feels very claustrophobic, closing everything up. So that felt a bit unusual for me for the first couple of days, kind of got used to it. Gransfors was really nice because we had that huge room and in the house, so even though everything was closed up, and it did have very gentle central heating on, which was keeping everything warm, there was a lot of air movement, so it felt good. So yeah, that was amazing. The forging, well, let's start at the beginning. Stockholm, great. Then Holtzbrook, Norrköping, that was great. Really interesting to see the factory, really interesting to see the estate. The guys there were amazing, really helpful, really knowledgeable. So much history. Great to see the manor house, go up to the lake where, you know, it's the water source, why that site was chosen for the original forge. The whole of the estate was based around the forge, all the houses were for the workers. Yeah, just a lovely thing to visit. And then we headed off to Husqvarna with a K, which is the town, to see Husqvarna with a Q, which is the factory and the museum. So factory was great. Such a shame we couldn't show you more, but I think, you know, between us we described enough of it. Really nice environment to work in. Everybody working at Husqvarna is very pleased to and proud to be working at Husqvarna. So they really have a lot of company spirit. It didn't feel like it was some kind of drudgery, and yeah, I mean, pretty amazing to see that they have, for their part on each line, so each line is making a different saw, for their part on each line they have 47 seconds to do their bit, whatever that is. And you know, I watched a couple of them, and it wasn't just like putting one screw in. Some people had a few things to do. Of course, you've got air tools which are rated to give the right torque and do everything, you know, correctly. You're not checking torque and having to do that with an instrument. It's all done, but at the same time, you know, not easy. And they've got a readout above the line giving if they're behind or above in terms of units, and they have like a floating person on each line, and that person just jumps in if someone's struggling, someone's getting behind with something. They jump in and help on that. Everybody in the whole factory, apart from one instance which I'll come to, is trained on every line, so they can just cut across to another line. They can work on different lines on different days, so you don't feel like you're just stuck doing the whatever, you know, doing the electric chainsaw, or doing whatever. You get to move around and do different processes on different lines. So within your own line, you're allowed to do all the different processes because you get trained to do each process, and then you can go on to different lines to do different saws. So it's quite a bit of variation within the factory. You know, it's not. It didn't feel like it was drudgery. Lots of light in there. Just a pleasant environment. Finally, they have a lot of control over the quality. So big on quality control. Lots of new systems been put in to ensure that the saws go out the door, you know, ready to use. They run every saw produced up to 9,000. They run it for a period of time, and so it's, you know, it's pre-run. The exception is the big saw. I'm sure it's the 3120. I'm ready to be corrected on that, but I'm sure it's the 3120. Huge power head, and that's made by one man in one room, and he just makes those saws. He doesn't make anything else. So those 3120s are hand built by one man, and I think I'm right in saying that he builds 5 a day. He builds 5 saws per day. So basically, if you buy one of those big power heads, you're buying a handmade saw. One man is building those saws on his own in one room. So pretty remarkable. So yeah, the factory was great. The museum you saw, loads and loads of history. My buddy Graham Jarvis rides for Husqvarna. He's what they call the king of hard enduro. I know some of you guys know of him or have met him. He does a lot of classes. He's in Turkey at the moment. I spoke to him when I got back. He wanted to know how we got on at Husqvarna, etc. And he's he's gone off to Turkey to do some training schools this week and the beginning of next week. And then he's got the, I believe it's the Red Bull Sea to Sky, which is an event in Turkey. So that's not this weekend, so i.e. tomorrow, Sunday. It's the following weekend. He's got that. And then he'll be back. Then I think he's coming down here. So I just wanted to put it out there. I did mention it to somebody in a comment. I think it was to the Snowman. If you want me to do a Q&A with Graham, we can either do a live feed, or we can do just send me the questions and we do a thing. I'll have to ask him what he wants to do. I'll do that. You know, we'll sit down at my house and do a live feed for the guys, for Bucking's subscribers and for my subscribers, if it's interesting for you. I mean, if you're not into bikes, then it's probably not interesting, but if it's interesting for you, of course we can do it. It's no problem. I've known Graham since he was 8 years old, probably actually 7.5. I used to ride trials as well. I rode in the World Championships in 1987. So, you know, if you want me to do that, let me know, and we'll put it together. Just depends on his schedule when he's coming down as to when it will be, but I'll give plenty of notice, and we might have to do it pre questions, or we might be able to do a live feed. We'll just see what he wants to do. So yeah, museum was great. Bikes, sewing machines, bicycles, chainsaws not so much, unfortunately. We were expecting more. But just the history, and to see the old machinery and what used to be run off the water wheel, it was all pretty remarkable. And then to meet more, of course, which was just pretty amazing. Bucking was so pleased to meet more, and we went off and had a cup of coffee together, had a great chat, spent some time, and then went back to his van and checked out his saws and all his stuff. Mort was kind enough to give Bucking a couple of axe heads. So, you know, great to meet Mort. Really nice, great guy. While I'm talking about Norwegians, there's obviously got seamen in our thoughts, the Northerner's son. He sent me a message this morning about how he's doing. So we'll keep him in our thoughts. Hopefully he will make a full and fast recovery. And yeah, if you're listening, Northerner, if you watch this, and seaman, if there's anything you'd like me to show on a video, if there's anything a seaman likes to watch, then just let me know. If it is within my capabilities, I mean, if you like someone on the trapeze doing somersaults, that's probably not going to happen. But if it's within my capabilities, I will do it. So just let me know if there's something that you'd like to see, seaman, and we'll try and do it for you. And then we shot over to Uppsala, which we had to break the journey. It was a long journey from Husqvarna to Gransfors, so we broke the journey and we stayed in Uppsala on the boat, which was pretty funny. I just wanted to do something a bit different, you know, rather than staying in hotel rooms, and you know, it's a bit of a laugh. So that was actually a good night's stay, although it was short. We had to get up early in the morning, and then Bucking and I left and we shot across to Gransfors. We stopped at a really nice motorway stop on the way there, had a coffee, had a bun, and got there on time, which was good. Great tour of the facility. Frederick was a great guy. He was our instructor. He was our master blacksmith, if you like, and he was really good step-by-step instruction. Showed us around the factory, told us a lot about the history, not only of Gransfors, but the history of forging and being a blacksmith in Sweden, which obviously goes back as far as Sweden does. So yeah, really nice guy. I haven't had time to edit any of the video from the forging because there's loads of it. We just basically left the camera on. I put an external battery pack on the camera and we just left it running. So I've got to sift through that. I will divide it up. I'm going to divide it up into like Bucking and I think we both really enjoyed the experience. We really enjoyed being at Gransfors. We enjoyed being immersed. You felt like you were immersed in axe making there. The environment, I mean, the axe museum was just nuts. I mean, it was someone, you know, I'm not like an axe nut or buff, or you know, I don't know about axes, but I mean that was a lot of axes, and you know, all shapes and sizes, all uses. I think even Bucking said that he was surprised by the number and the variation of the type of axes. So yeah, he kept disappearing off. He kept saying to me, "Oh yeah, I'm going for a walk," but I knew where he was going. So I think he had a few tours of the axe museum, some private ones. He wanted to be alone with certain axes, I think. So yeah, that was great. Axe throwing, of course, was very entertaining, and I got some instruction from BBR and managed to hit the target a couple of times, which was good fun. We're in the back streets of Alarino Grande here. I'm just cutting my way up to the high street, just cuts the corner off. Mr. Tourists. So yeah, Gransfors was great, really great experience. We both really enjoyed it. For me, that was the origin of the trip, but that's not to say that, you know, other parts of the trip weren't equally good. They were. You know, Holtzbrook was really good, Husqvarna was really good, and I probably wouldn't have done those if it wasn't for BBR. You know, he was initially put the idea. Well, he put the idea across about Husqvarna because of Mr. Walker, Bobby Walker. But Holtzbrook, actually, I think the idea came from a subscriber, because one of the subscribers wrote and said, "What about Holtzbrook?" And I thought, yeah, what about Holtzbrook? And then James, we contacted James, who's like the American PR for Holtzbrook, and we contacted him. He'd already been in touch with BBR, and or Lord Buckington, as I should call him. He'd already been in touch with him, and we managed to put that together. So, you know, thanks to James. If you're watching, James, thanks very much for putting all that together, organising it for us. Knut came back from Estonia, flew back from Estonia to be there, so that was really great. So you know, as much as Gransfors was the focus, the other things were great, and we both really enjoyed Gransfors. And then we came back to Stockholm, stayed in the 747, again something a bit different. That worked out brilliantly, because opposite the 747 was the drop off of the hire car, so we, you know, just walk across the road, drop your hire car off. So if ever you're in Stockholm and you're able to stop at the 747 and you've got a hire car, it's the perfect last night, because you have got the hire cars across the road, just drop the car off and walk across. And there is a bus from basically 3:30. They guarantee it from 4, but it's basically 3:30 in the morning. So you've got a bus every 15 minutes to the airport from 3:30 in the morning, which is great. So that worked out excellent. We did our live feed from the plane, from the restaurant in the plane, which is in the nose of the plane. And unfortunately, we deleted it because we were messing around afterwards trying to tidy everything up, and we deleted the wrong thing. But c'est la vie. I'm sure there'll be more live feeds from Mr. BBR, and I'll try and do one, and we will try and link up as well, so that we can do a live feed from 2 locations and create one live feed. So that should be pretty good. So just to like checking in, guys, letting you know what's happening. I know it's been a week since I've been back, and I do apologise. I meant to sit down and do something for you, but you know how it is. You get home and there's a lot to do, and of course we lost a couple of days with dealing with Bart, trying to sort that situation out, which subsequently became, the realisation was that we couldn't do anything about it, so we had to take that step. And then we managed, you know, been on the catch up since. So I'm pretty much on top of things now. Normally I wouldn't be doing anything tomorrow, but to catch up, I've got some appointments in the morning, Saturday morning, and we've got so I'll probably bring you guys along. They've actually already got married, and this is kind of like a, whatever you call it, you know, for everybody else. They went off and got married on their own and then come back, and the reception is on the beach in Malaga, so I'll bring you along for the reception. I don't think anyone will mind that. Show you what this Spanish reception is like on the beach. Very informal and good fun. So I hope you all have a great day. As you can see, it's warming up here. We're up to 18 now, like I said, it's 10 o'clock, so we're up to 18. And you know, we'll be climbing into the 20s now and up to 28 probably by 1 o'clock. So nice and warm, sunny day, a little bit cloudy, but yeah, very nice. I'm just going to go along and meet this Spanish client, and I've got a couple of things to sort out with him this morning, and then this afternoon I'm meeting a Dutch lady at 3, and I've got a few things to deal with her, and then my day is done. So after that appointment this afternoon, I'll get home and I'll just chuck this on. I'm not going to edit it up or anything, I'm just going to chuck it on and upload it for you. So hopefully this will be on pretty much in the morning of your day. So to say, hope everyone's well. To Al, shout out my friend Al, shout out to John, the Swede, to Cynthia, to Old School Logging, the Northerner. I'm going to leave people out, of course, like Bucking does, but Too Fast, Josh, John, various Johns actually, there's a number of Johns, John Summerfield, John sent me a few messages in the last few days about the digging, so that John, I can't remember your second name, I do apologise. Yeah, everyone that's come over and subscribed from Buckington's channel, thanks very much. I hope I can put some interesting content up for you, can't guarantee it, but I'll do my best. Okay guys, have a great day, speak to you soon.